All right. Um, Got everything stripped off the manual or the intake manifold now, and got all the bolts out of it. So we're just about ready to remove it. These bolts down here were so encrusted in there, I had to take a hammer and screwdriver and knock the crustiness off of it. It took me a little while, but I finally got those loose. This is by far the dirtiest engine I've ever worked on. So next thing I'm going to do is we're going to take a screwdriver and hammer, and we're going to go ahead and pop that manifold off. Okay, intake manifold's off. A lot of crud under there on that valley pan, but nothing too unexpected. Manifold doesn't look too bad. I flipped it over and it's just needs a thorough cleaning. Okay, we got the everything stripped off the sides, exhaust manifolds, fuel pump, or oil filter bracket. Took the valve covers off and the valley pan, and a little bit of gunk that fell in there when we took the valley pan off, but actually doesn't look all that bad. Looks fairly clean in here. At least it looks better than the outside looks. As you can see, got a lot of cleaning up to do. Again, you can see the junk. That was rust. Some of that was rust that fell off the top of the valve cover. So next up, we'll go ahead and take the heads off and see what we find out. All right, we got the top end pulled. Fortunately, it looks like we got a ridge in the cylinders, so we may be looking at a full rebuild, which doesn't surprise me. Here's the bottom end. Don't see anything too bad, but we're finished taking it all apart, taking it in the machine shop and having them check it over for us. Taking the oil pump off right now. Okay, we're down to the point where we're going to start taking pistons out. But before I can take the pistons, I need to take the ridges off. And I've done it on this cylinder. I'm about ready to do it with this cylinder. And what I'm doing it with is one of these OEM ridge reamers here. These are fairly easy to use. Essentially, you set this at the number 2 position and free these up here. And then you slide this into the cylinder, making sure that the little cutter here is below the ridge. And you have to have this turned this part here that spins around, turned all the way in. Then you slide it into the cylinder wall. You can see these 3 pistons, or whatever you want to call them, that slide out. You tighten it up into the cylinder with this bolt here, and that should center it in the cylinder. You want to check to make sure that you can't see any light in between those. Once you get that done, you slide this out so it's touching the cylinder, tighten these bolts up, and then move this to position number 3, and then you put a 7/8 inch deep well socket on here and turn it till it comes all the way out. And I've had to run it on this one. The ridge is high enough, I've had to run it through twice. You just make sure you keep it clean. And then once you do that, then you can remove the cylinders out of the top without damaging the piston ring. I don't know that it's going to make a big difference on this. I think I'm going to have it bored bigger and so on, but we're going to try to take it as safe as we can. So I'll go ahead and do the rest of these, and then we'll start removing the pistons.